you everyone for joining us today. Pam Noble is the Assistant Director for Prevent Child Abuse Kansas and has been with the Kansas Children's Service League for 14 years. She currently coordinates the Governor's Conference for the Prevention of Child Abuse and Neglect and the Child Abuse Prevention Month statewide campaign, and she also supervises parent education and crisis nursery programs. And today she's going to be talking about Child Abuse Prevention Month campaign and the toolkit that KCSL has created to help partners in their awareness efforts. So Pam, I'm going to let you take it over from here and tell us all about CAP Month.
Great, thanks, Rochelle. You will notice on the first screen that my email and my phone number and direct extension are available there on that first screen. So you might want to jot those down in case you think you'll need them for later. We are really celebrating 43 years of Child Abuse Prevention Month this year. Kansas Children's Service League is the Prevent Child Abuse America chapter for the state. And 43 years ago, when the national chapter, when the national organization decided that states should have their own chapters, Kansas became the very first chapter for Prevent Child Abuse America. This is the 43rd anniversary of the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act, which is known often as CAPTA. And the first Child Abuse Prevention Week was celebrated in June at one point in 1982, and then a year later, then President Reagan deemed April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. So that brings us to 43 years later. As I mentioned before, Kansas has the first chapter for Prevent Child Abuse America, and that was founded in '76. It became part of the Kansas Children's Service League in 1993, and our role as the state chapter is to provide training and technical assistance for our partners and collaborators across the state in order to help you provide some child abuse prevention information, to promote some different activities, and really to shine the light on the prevention programs that we tend to do so well here in Kansas. A brief recap of our 2018 campaign. We saw activities in 31 communities, and many of those communities had more than one activity throughout the month of April. There were 167 letters to the editor sent to various newspapers across the state, and we saw 29 proclamations at the city and county level, as well as one at the state level. I have a few photos because I think that photos always tend to show a little bit of a better story. These are from the event that we held at the Capitol last year. Then Governor Collier signed a proclamation on that day, and we had some little help from the kids at the child care center across the street from the Capitol. We were supposed to do this outside originally, and it was really cold that day, and I think it was a little bit rainy, so we did it inside the Capitol, and it was actually really fun. The blue holders that you see, they have holes drilled into them, so the kids could plant pinwheels in those. And it was really fun. It was fun to have all the little kids there, and they got to, meet the governor and watch him sign the proclamation. And so it was a very fun activity that we did that day. We also had pinwheels in the legislature. Both the House and the Senate did a resolution in declaring April Child Abuse Prevention Month, so we were able to go in and put pinwheels on everybody's desk within the legislature, and then we were able to accept the resolution for Child Abuse Prevention Month. So again, we saw a lot of really great support from our legislators as well as the governor last year, and I think that that will continue again this year as well. Since most of your legislators are home during the month of April, it's really important that you invite them to events that you're having, or even just invite them to tour your facility and talk to them about child abuse prevention and why it's important and what you're doing to raise recognition of your programs during the month of April. You should be able to find your legislator at the link that is listed here. If you have trouble, you can let me know and I can help you through that a little bit more. again, I can't stress the importance of inviting our legislators to the different activities and events that we do, or like I said, even just for a site tour, because they really want to learn what is happening in their district, and we really want to educate them. If you're going to be at the Capitol, whether you're there on official work business, whether you're there on a field trip, or whether you just happen to stop in Sunday, it's really important that you go to your legislator's office and let them know, who you are. And if they're not there, then if you have a business card, leave your business card, or at least leave a note saying that, you stopped in to see them. They appreciate when their constituents come to see them, and they appreciate the knowledge that they can gain from the various people in their districts. So I would, again, really encourage you to do that. This should really say 2019 goals. Apparently I missed that when I was doing some updates. But we're looking to do events in at least 25 different counties during the month of April, and then additional events throughout the year. If you do something at the end of the school year, if you're a school or a child care center, if you do something for parents at the end of the school year, or if you do something during parent-teacher conferences or open houses, and you include the information about Child Abuse Prevention Month, or about just about your prevention program, about why it's important, then we really want to know. We like to keep track of those. We will send, we're hoping that letters will be sent to 125 newspapers across the state, and we're hoping to do 30 proclamation signings on the city and county level, as well as we're working on the state level one. And again, this is an ongoing campaign stressing the importance of prevention. April is a great opportunity to shine that spotlight, but the rest of the year it's important to remember that prevention is important, and it plays a huge role in the lives of our children and our families. Some of our different campaign components, we do have a toolkit that's available on our website. It's all downloadable material. It includes letters to the editor, sample proclamations, talking points, various flyers. And if you need any of those in a Word document, if you send me your request that you would like them as a Word document, especially a proclamation so you don't have to retype it, then I'm happy to get those out for you. Pinwheels are $1 each, and we provide bulk pricing for orders over 500 or 1,000. Pinwheel lapel pins are $2.50 each, and then there's also a downloadable in the toolkit for coloring sheets and for the paper pinwheels that say Happy Children or Healthy Children, and a place to write in the child's name. The materials that we have, the pinwheels and the lapel pins, that price includes the shipping. We don't charge you additional shipping. We ship at just the standard rate. So if you, for some reason, need something overnight, that might cost you additional shipping. But I would really caution you that we need a couple weeks time before you want your pinwheels or your supplies. It's helpful if we can have a couple weeks notice. We really only have one staff person that tries to send out all of those orders, and we usually just send them out from our office, and our postman doesn't like to pick up more than probably 4 boxes in a day. So if we have more, we go ahead and go to the post office, but we do really need orders in advance of when you need them. So if you know that you're going to need pinwheels for an event at the end of April, feel free to go ahead and send that order to us, and we'll talk about how to do that in a little bit, but send it in advance. It's important to remember that the pinwheel always provides us an opportunity to tell the prevention story, and we focus on prevention. We equate a pinwheel with the general statement of support for healthy child development, for babies born, for families served. Our national organization does require that everyone who for us sign a memorandum of agreement that you will only use the pinwheels as specified by Prevent Child Abuse America. They cannot be equated with fatalities or equated with reported cases. They need to be used for to highlight prevention programs, to highlight healthy child development, babies born, families served, and they need to be used with the Pinwheels for Prevention logo as well, which you find on all of the materials that we send out during Child Abuse Prevention Month. We will do our anniversary package again this year like we have done in the past, and that is 40 pinwheels, it's a yard sign, it's magnets and bookmarks, it's 1 lapel pin, it's wristbands, stickers, and tattoos as we still have those available. Right now we have quite a few wristbands available. I think maybe our stickers and our tattoos are dwindling a little bit. But we do all of this, and it is a $40 cost, and that does include your shipping. So if you're interested in doing an anniversary package where you have the yard sign and the pinwheels and everything, they come tagged just like they are in this picture, then that order, you'll find that on our order form, and you can order as many of those as you want. As I mentioned, we also have the paper pinwheels that are available. You can print these off of our website, and then you have to cut them out. They have happy children everywhere, healthy children everywhere. They're great for the office, for the child care center, for the school. We use them generally in our office with our staff, and then we put names of either our own children or children that we serve in different ways. So we're reminded that we want happy and healthy children. It's a great visual. I know that in the past, some people have been able to have people use these in a form of a fundraiser for their organization. You know, somebody sells them for $1 and then they hang them up on the grocery store window or whatever that may be. If you have someone that is willing to do that for you for a fundraiser for your organization, that is just fine. Again, as long as we're equating that to, you know, the healthy child development, the family served, whatever it may be. It's not in honor of a child who's died from child abuse-related injuries. Some pictures from last year, just a few ideas. There's a daycare in Coldwater, Kansas that did one of the causes, helped them do some pinwheel planting. And then the Graham County Library also did a bulletin board with pinwheels and bookmarks and some of our other tip cards that we have available. And those are also listed on the Community Resource Library order form, which will is part of that downloadable toolkit, or you can just find it on the KCSL website as well. And then this is Cimarron. I think it's one of the schools there, I can't remember, but it was the CASA children we're saving out of Dodge City. They serve the western part of the state. And then the Independence, Kansas Chamber of Commerce also did a pinwheel planting. We really like the pictures that you send us, either that you send us or that you tag us in on social media. Pictures really tell the best stories, and it's really helpful when writing reports to be able to include pictures, not just words, because like I said, they do tell the best stories, and they really give people at the federal level that our report goes to great ideas of what is happening in Kansas, that we are really looking out for our children and our families, and that's really, really important. So I would encourage you to either email those to us, or again, you can tag us on any social media also. And then a couple other cute pictures. The Wichita State Child Development Center. This has been a great partnership for us. Our office is in Wichita, and we have partnered with the Child Development Center on the WSU campus to do a pinwheel planting for the past 3 years with the College of Applied Studies and the Department of Sport Management. My husband teaches in the Sport Management Department, and they always are encouraging their students to look beyond just sport, but to look at social impact. So it has been a great partnership for us. I would encourage you, if you have a college or a community college in your area that you serve to see if you can do some kind of a partnership with them and their Child Development Center. We did this pinwheel planting last year on Wear Blue Day, and all the little kids wore blue, and they wore their blue shirts, and it was so cold that we weren't outside for very long, but it was still a lot of fun. One of the tricks that we've learned when you're planting lots and lots of pinwheels is to take a screwdriver with you, because that helps to make a great hole in the grass or the dirt or whatever when you're sticking your pinwheel, your stems in the ground. And then this is another Child Development Center from Greensburg, Kansas. Again, sponsored by ACASA out there. It might be the same one, I can't remember. But lots of cute little faces and lots of pretty little pinwheels showing the best that we have here in Kansas. Proclamation signings are a really easy way to become involved with Child Abuse Prevention Month. We are working to do one at the state level with our partners from DCF and obviously the governor's office. You can do them at the city and the county level, and we have done them also, we've done them at the school level, we've done them at the university level. You can kind of switch that last sentence in the proclamation to really suit whoever is available to sign and whoever is interested, whether it's the city, the county, or, like I said, somebody else within the community or the school or the organization. I would really encourage you to do a proclamation signing, especially if you haven't ever done one. We can help you walk through the details of it. Most of the times at the city and the county level, they're great opportunities to kind of present who you are and what you do. The city and the county tend to be really interested in what happens at the local level and why this is important to you. And they usually ask you questions about what you do, what your organization does, how many children or families you serve. So again, I would really encourage you to do that. I will send one in for Sedgwick County and for the city of Wichita. And then if you're in this area and want to attend those proclamation signings, you're certainly more than welcome to attend. I will try to get that information out. But if you're in a surrounding community to Wichita, if you're Derby or Hayesville, Newton, and you want to do a proclamation signing, please let me know. Again, like I said, I'm happy to walk you through the process. It's easy, and it is really impactful. It's kind of nice to get to go and have people really be interested in what you're doing, and especially interested in why this is important, because they know it's important. They know that child abuse is an issue, but they don't necessarily know a lot about what we do in our job day to day that prevents child abuse. So I would really encourage you to be willing to educate your city and county level politicians, as well as, like I said, if you're involved with the university or junior college or anything like that. These are a couple of pictures just from proclamations last year. The Kansas Children's Cabinet and Trust Fund did one at their April meeting, and then this is from Garden City. They did a proclamation out there as well. So again, like I said, they're great opportunities to get to meet your local politicians, as well as to get some free notice for your organization. Again, some of the pictures, these are from 2 years ago. We did a huge project with Starbucks, and that was really fun. They didn't do it last year. We're hoping that they will do it again this year. The Starbucks in the Wichita area all bought pinwheels and planted them in front of their stores. I think that last year the Starbucks in Emporia was willing to do it. I would encourage you, if you have a Starbucks or a Freddy's or somebody else, in your community, and you want to approach them to see if they're willing to purchase pinwheels and plant them and promote Child Abuse Prevention Month, I would really encourage you to do that. Again, we did it with Starbucks for probably 3 years in a row, and by the third year when I walked in with the pinwheels, they all knew what it was, and they were really excited to participate. So I would really encourage you to reach out and ask some of your local or even some of your chain businesses in your communities. And then this is Avondale School. I just have always really liked this picture. I like the planting and the mural in the background, so I left it in there. This is our bookmark that we have available. It's downloadable in our toolkit, but we also have them available in English and Spanish for free through our community resource library. And so you can order as many of those as you want. It highlights the 5 protective factors, which for a lot of people are really basic things to understand about child abuse prevention. You know, providing supports to parents. I like to remind people that in order for our new parents to nurture their babies, sometimes we have to nurture those new parents, and we need to be supportive of them. When you're in the grocery store and that 2-year-old's having a meltdown, I always remember that I too was that person, and this too shall pass. And so sometimes it's important just to, you know, provide that support right there on that individual level. And then knowledge of child and youth development is always really important in preventing child abuse and neglect. We want people to understand what they should expect from the child at a certain age level, so they're not frustrated by what they do or don't do at that age. And then we also need to remind people sometimes that the size of a child doesn't equate to the age of the child. I am not very tall, and my husband's not very tall, so our kids are not very big. But I have friends who are, you know, they're 6 foot and 6'2", and so their kids are going to be tall, and somehow people think that as a 3-year-old, if you're tall, you should be, you know, acting like a 7-year-old. So it's important to understand have some knowledge behind where children should be developmentally. So our community resource library, where you can order items from, is at kcsl.org. You can find the order form there. We have a few tip cards that are only available online, but if you click on them online, they will print out either 2-to-a page or 1-to-a page, and they're set up so they're in a very nice downloadable form. If you are buying pinwheels or any pinwheel material, if you can note on your check that it's for CAP materials, that is really, really helpful to our accounting department. And then, like I said, really allow 2 weeks for shipping. That's hugely important. It takes us a while to get orders filled. We tend to get the majority of our orders the last week of March and the first week of April. So if you send us a request that first Monday in April for something that's going to happen at the end of the week, that makes it really hard for you to get your pinwheels, especially if you're not in Wichita. So please allow us time to get them packed and shipped. You can order our materials. Kim Osborne is our materials coordinator, and she can be reached either at kosborne@kcsl.org or at resourcelibrary@kcsl.org, and that fax and phone number as well. Kim's usually here 8 to 4, so if you email her after 4, she's not going to get it till the next day. And again, if she's busy packing orders, she might not get to her email very often during the day. So please really allow us some time to get those out to you. At this point, what we know that's upcoming is Wear Blue Day is April 5th, which is the first Friday of April. And that is a day where we encourage people to wear blue in support of child abuse prevention programs. We try to kind of cover the state with different pictures and different groups. Some people have used this as, again, a fundraiser where people buy into wearing blue. They buy into, they can wear their blue jeans that day. They can wear their blue shirt, their blue Royal shirt that day, or their blue KU shirt that day, or some other blue shirt. But lots of times people have worked that into a fundraiser, and if you can find someone that is willing to do that for your agency, then that is great. All we ask is that you send us some cool pictures. On Saturday, April 6th, we'll have our Sedgwick County Zoo event, and if you're in the Sedgwick County area, you will receive more information about this. The zoo will give you a reduced admission. It's $7.50 a piece per person. Under the age of 2 is always free. If you register in advance, the trick with Zoo Day is you have to register in advance, but you don't have to pay in advance. So it's really, really important if you think you want to go to the zoo event or if you have families that want to go, to get them registered in advance, and that is easy to do. And again, like I said, you'll get that link in an email here shortly. But register your families in advance. And this can be anyone. It can be, if you don't have a zoo membership and you want to take your family to the zoo, it can be you, it can be your client families, whoever wants to go to the zoo, as long as they're registered in advance for that day, will get that $7.50 admission. We have a game with Sporting KC, which is April 27th. Tickets are $29 each, and that's for Section 132. They do have to be purchased by April 1st, and there's a link to that as well, or you can contact Jamie Van Compernal, who's in our Kansas City or Johnson Wyandotte County office, and she can give you more information in regards to that. The trick here is that those do have to be purchased by April 1st. So if you want to go and see Sporting KC play, I think they play the team out of the New England area, then buy your tickets by April 1st. And we have had that kind of a partnership with Sporting KC for a long time. They always do, their color is blue, but they always promote that as well during that game for Wear Blue for Child Abuse Prevention. These are pictures from last year's men's and women's team. So the women's team was a new partner in that last year, so that was kind of exciting and fun as well. Some of our other campaign picks from 2018, St. Francis Ministries across the state did Wear Blue Day, and they did a variety of, I have pictures, I think, from all of their offices, so that was kind of fun to see all of that. In the Wichita office, lots of times for April, we do a blue dessert contest. I don't think I have any pictures of that this year, but it's kind of fun to see the creativity that people come up with, and we end up with all sorts of things from blueberry desserts to, blue whipping cream in a dessert, or blue Jell-O, or blue frosting. It's a lot of fun, and I would encourage you all, if you like dessert, to host a blue dessert contest and take some pictures. And, you can find some celebrity judges from your area. There's always somebody that wants to judge a dessert contest. So that has been a really fun thing that we have done. Sometimes we do it on Wear Blue Day, and sometimes we do it at a different part of the month because we try to spread out the fun. If you're from the Wichita area and you know where the tower lights are on Meridian, we have had those turn blue during April for the past couple years. Again, they're kind of fun to see. We haven't planted pinwheels because we would have to pick them up whatever day they were going to mow, and they don't always have that scheduled. So, but we've done the blue lights down on Meridian. These are some pictures from our Family Fun Day at the zoo last year. The Bikers Against Child Abuse local chapter here, known as BACA, always comes and does face painting. Last year, our Family Fun Day at the zoo started out with some snow on the ground, but by afternoon, when you were inside the zoo, the weather was great. There really is not a lot of wind inside the zoo, and so it wasn't even freezing cold. We had moved them inside just because it's hard to wear your gloves when you're face painting, but they did lots of face painting, and we did the hashtags Great Childhoods Begin. And then we had a bunch of different slogans that people could tape onto their board. We did family game night, we did family dinner, at home. You can think of lots of different ways where great childhoods begin, and make, a sign, and you can have it at us and at you and whoever, tagging different groups on social media. We really like to have things shared on social media So if you can tag us, then we can definitely share that on social media. We can share the events that you're doing, whether they're upcoming or whether you've already done them. We used to really try to collect a list and keep it on our website, and we just don't have the capacity to be able to do that in a timely manner at this point. So we'd much rather have you tag us on social media, and then, like I said, we can share. The Great Childhoods hashtag is nationwide, as is the Wear Blue hashtag for April 5th. So if you can use those and tag them, then you should be able to see lots of different things that are happening across the nation during April. Some others, this is, I think, a proclamation signing in Riley County, and then Western Plains Hospital did a pinwheel planting as well. CASA helped sponsor that one also. So again, just some fun pictures to share. As I said before, the hashtag is Great Childhoods, and to talk about what makes a great childhood. So, for example, when we have our zoo day, we will probably tweet, we have in the past, Great Childhoods begin at the Sedgwick County Zoo, and then we can tag our partner, which is the Sedgwick County Zoo, and use the hashtag as well. We're trying to stir up some conversation around what makes a great childhood and how we contribute to great childhood, whether it's through the supportive environment at your workplace, whether it's through the job that you do teaching preschoolers or first graders or high school kids. What is it that we do, that you do, that we do as a society or as a community that make great childhoods? You know, great childhoods begin with communities that are supportive, that have parks and recreation facilities, those types of things. So we're trying to stir up some conversation on social media about what makes a great childhood. And then again, Wear Blue Day is April 5th, and we'll use that hashtag Wear Blue. So if you have room and you can hashtag both Great Childhoods and Wear Blue, we would ask you to do that on April 5th. A few more photos. The Douglas County, or maybe it's the Leavenworth, I can't remember. I think this is Douglas County, their award ceremony. They give out an award each year to somebody who's been an amazing partner in child abuse prevention. And then this was their pinwheel planting last year as well. This was a pinwheel planting at the City Hall in Lawrence, and then one at the Meade County Hospital. So we're really trying to cover the state as much as we can. We like to see things from different parts of the state. We like to know, we like some feedback on what helps you in the different parts of the state, that what we can do to help you a little bit more in the different parts of the state, because we can't be everywhere during April. So the feedback that you give us on what you need, what you did, what worked well for you is always really, really appreciated. And then we do like to know, we compile an annual report that we send to Prevent Child Abuse America, and then DCF and the Children's Cabinet receive our report, and they use those to report out to federal partners on what is happening in Kansas. So it's really, really important that we cover as much of the state as we can, and we include as many different activities that we can in as many different counties. When we send the report, it's basically, like it will say Sedgwick County, and then it will say Sedgwick County Family Fun Day at the Sedgwick County Zoo was held on Saturday, April 6th. Collaborators included Bikers Against Child Abuse, Children's Advocacy Center, St. Francis Ministries, whoever is included in that event. We really like to highlight who has planned it and who they've collaborated with. we don't want people to think that, we want people to understand that in Kansas we have a huge partnership and a huge collaboration across the state with a variety of groups who are doing their best to prevent child abuse and make help build strong families and really make Kansas the place that you want to raise your children. So the more people that are involved, the more agencies that we get to report on, the more counties that things have happened in, when it goes to the, it makes people take notice. Oh my gosh, look at all of these that are coming together to collaborate on Child Abuse Prevention Month, and look at how many people are really working to make Kansas the best place to raise a child. So it's really, really important that you send us that information so we can make sure that we raise your voice, that you're getting acknowledgement for what is done. The pictures that I've included in this presentation are also pictures that I include in our report with, just like it said, Riley County, Meade County Hospital. So people are able to equate what has happened with the words to the picture. And again, I think that's really, really important. And I can't stress to you enough how much we like to report on everything that is done across the state. Because we know that we have huge levels of collaboration across the state, and we have so many people that are working to be really involved in the lives of our children and families, and we want to encourage that. So you can email us the information and the pictures to pinwheels@kcsl.org. If you tag us on Facebook and on Twitter, we can pull them off of there as well, using, make sure you use the hashtags, and also make sure that you do the MyKCSL or the @KCSL. So so it shows up in our stream, and then we can share it as well as report on it. Last year we ended up, I can't remember, I think maybe one of our marketing people found this rock. There was a campaign here in Wichita called ICT Rocks, and it was people that painted rocks and left them in parks and different places to say, you know, positive things. And we found one, someone had done the pinwheel. They'd done a very nice job of the pinwheel. So I put that in there because it's kind of a fun, just type of campaign to do. It would be easy to recreate. It wouldn't cost you a lot of money, and you could do, you know, Child Abuse Prevention Month. You can do it localized to your particular agency, kind of like the CASAs have done the Pass the Pinwheel through social media as well. That's been a huge push the past couple of years. So those are really kind of unique things, and they're fun, and they involve a lot of people. And then Rochelle, who introduced the webinar today, she's on the road a lot in the month of April to do different trainings. So she has a box of pinwheels that she keeps in her car, and this year a screwdriver, because I said that would make it so much easier to plant them. And she has a really nice camera, so she takes pictures across the state of different locations with pinwheels. Last year we had a couple of an old schoolhouse. We have some from a stone wall. A couple years ago we had some in a tulip field. And I think those types of pictures also tell a great story about Kansas. If you're not from Kansas, you don't know what's here, and you think of it as flat farmland, and you don't know about Rock City or the giant well in Greensburg or the ball of twine or the Flint Hills or whatever it may be that makes your location exceptionally beautiful. So feel free to do some iconic pinwheel shots and send those to us. We do like them, and we like to be able to use them in our newsletters as well as on our reports. And we're more than happy to give you credit, or you can, normally Rochelle's have a watermark on them saying who took them. So if you know how to do that on your photos, that's fine also. But we really would encourage you, like I said, I don't get out of I don't get much beyond Wichita and Topeka in the month of April just because those two places keep me really, really busy. So it's kind of like I live vicariously through people's pinwheel pictures and know that it's going on and it's happening. So I really encourage you to take some of those. Not to mention that this picture from Rock City looks a whole heck of a lot warmer than it is outside my window today. And then if you are looking for any additional resources, childwelfare.gov does a prevention handout booklet each year, and everything in there is public domain. It has some really good information for parents, for parenting groups. I would encourage you to look that up. Sometimes I can order them and I get them and we can send them out. I haven't looked at that yet this year. I need to get on that though. And then that's really about all for our webinar today. We do like you, we liked last year we had a lot of libraries that were involved in doing different things, putting out pinwheel displays, putting out materials. So we really like those kinds of different ideas. If you have an idea that's unique, feel free to share it so we can share it. And if you have something that you've done that has been highly successful and you're not afraid to guide someone else through it that's never done it, then let us know so we can connect you. We will record, we'll put this recording from our video on our YouTube channel eventually. And so if you have people that have missed it, or if you're looking for the contact information, it will be up there as well. We will do our newsletters for Child Abuse Prevention Month. So if you have an event that you'd like us to, it will probably have to be after the fact, but if you've done something that you're really proud of and you want us to mention it in our newsletter that goes out to our partners across the state, feel free to send us a write-up and any pictures that you might have. Our job is really to be able to raise the voice of our different partners, to show the collaboration across the state, and to provide you with the training and technical assistance that maybe you don't have. We have a couple incredibly talented marketing people that can, they did the toolkit, they took the PCA toolkit and they worked it into our own toolkit, and they can do different things like that, whereas some places are smaller and they might not have that capacity. So we want to help you have the best campaign possible. Don't be afraid to reach out and let us know if you have any questions.